Welcome to Testosterothon. 28 movies so manly, they'll make you drink jet fuel and crap thunder. After Stallone brought Rocky Balboa for one last movie called Rocky Balboa successfully, it actually didn't seem that weird when another Rambo movie was announced, though, believe it or not, it wasn't the first attempt to bring the character back. After 9/11, there was a lot of talk about a fourth Rambo movie where he'd go back to Afghanistan, only this time to kill Osama bin Laden. Honestly, I'm glad that didn't happen. That probably would have been called Rambo 3 Part 2 or something. Anyway, since the last Rocky was called Rocky Balboa, it seemed natural that this one would be called John Rambo, though it was then shortened to just Rambo because Stallone didn't want people to think it was the last one. Though the version I watched for this review did say John Rambo on the title card. Apparently that's a thing. You know, the titles are confusing. Just call it Rambo 4. Anyway, Rambo is still living in Thailand and still leading a mostly quiet life. He's approached by missionaries who want him to escort them across the border into Burma on a humanitarian mission to bring food and medical supplies to poor villagers who are being brutalized by the militaristic regime. Rambo refuses on the grounds that they won't be changing anything unless they're bringing weapons to the people. Eventually, they convince him to take them through, mostly because the guy who got rejected sends his wife to talk to Rambo and she's kinda hot. Anyway, he takes them to Burma, though they run afoul of some pirates who want the chick as payment for safe passage. Rambo tries to just give them money, but they press the issue and he winds up killing them, which horrifies the peaceful missionaries. The missionaries are pretty fucked, though, as the military raids the village, killing many people and capturing the ones that survive. The pastor in charge of the mission goes to Rambo to tell him that they haven't heard from them, and asks him to escort a group of mercenaries that he has hired to rescue them where he brought the missionaries. Rambo actually tries to join them as he seems to feel they're in over their heads, but they reject the notion. However, he follows them and he winds up pretty much taking over when the Burmese military are playing sick games with the lives of the captives. The mercenaries choose not to intervene as they're outgunned, but Rambo doesn't know what outgun means, and he starts killing people. What follows is the long action scene that goes through to the end of the movie that involves the rescue of the captives and their escape, including a scene where the remaining missionaries and most of the mercs are recaptured and about to be executed, and Rambo once again ignites a firefight that leads to the movie's bombastic conclusion. Rambo 4, or whatever you want to call it, has one thing going for it, and that is violence. A lot of violence. Now, all of these movies are violent in one way or another, but this one is on another level. It's very bloody. A lot of movies are bloody, but usually it's in a cartoonish sort of manner. Like, for example, look at a movie like Kill Bill, which has a lot of death and blood, but it's fun because of the cartoonish nature of the blood. This is realistic. If I can make a comparison, it's violent in the way that Saving Private Ryan was violent. It's gritty, realistic, and uncompromising, and yeah, it's kind of hard to watch at times if you're sensitive. This is a movie that you might need the puke bucket for. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, that's not to say that it isn't a smart movie, because it is. Once again, it's all about the character. Rambo 3 failed because it really didn't have a point. It teased the idea of Rambo coming full circle and finally embracing what he is and what he's meant to do, and then it didn't explore that concept at all. Rambo 4 really does. This is what he was made to do. He does it better than anyone, and he might as well just keep doing it. It leaves him an outsider, but he's used to this by now. He tried to belong to various things in the past, but what he belongs to was his elite group, and he's the only surviving member. The movie is also shot really well. The bluish sort of look goes really well with the violent imagery and the unflinching portrayal of what was actually a very real series of atrocities in Burma. It takes this into a very realistic realm. It doesn't look like a movie. It could be news footage, but for the machismo meter, I'm going to give this one a 10. Rambo does what needs to be done. They talked about the idea of coming full circle in Rambo 3, but it's only in this one that he seems to fully embrace what he was meant to be, someone who disposes of enemy personnel, a killer, plain and simple. For the score itself, I put this one on par with First Blood Part 2. I think there are some things that the film did better, and some things that this one did better, and I have to say I like them both a lot for different reasons, so I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10.